Welcome to our channel on near-death experiences, NDEs. We'll explore stories of people who've been on the brink between life and death, returning with new perspectives. These accounts offer a unique glimpse into existence, life's meaning, and the universe. Each video is a journey through transformative experiences and spiritual discovery. We're creating a space of understanding and sharing for these extraordinary stories. Whether you're here out of curiosity or seeking comfort, we hope to bring you peace and awareness. Join us on this journey of spiritual exploration. Every moment is an opportunity to grow and love. Thank you for being here with us.
The experience described in this account revolves around a woman's near-death experience, NDE, during heart surgery. As a soldier in the army, she received a series of injections prior to deployment, one of which, believed to be the anthrax vaccine, caused severe damage to her heart. This damage resulted in a condition known as third-degree AV block, reducing her average heart rate to a dangerously low 7 beats per minute. To address this life-threatening situation, doctors implanted a permanent pacemaker. Initially, the first 2 surgeries went smoothly. However, complications arose 6 months after the second procedure when a lead in her pacemaker became dislodged, causing misfiring in her ventricles. The urgency of the situation necessitated immediate corrective surgery. Unfortunately, during this third operation, a critical oversight occurred. The physicians failed to provide a backup pacemaker while disconnecting the original device. This error led to immediate cardiac arrest and clinical death lasting approximately 3 minutes, as reported by the surgeon. During this period of clinical death, the woman experienced what she later recognized as an NDE. She described feeling a tug on her chest, followed by hearing distant voices. The sensation of falling backwards and downwards enveloped her, but curiously, only the upper portion of her body seemed affected, while her legs remained firmly on the operating table. In a state of confusion and panic, she attempted to grasp the table with her arms, only to realize they were securely tied to her sides. It was at this moment that she became aware of an extraordinary phenomenon. She found herself observing her own body on the operating table. The perspective was unusual, as if she were perched on her own shoulder, minus her legs. From this vantage point, she could survey the entire operating room scene. The environment appeared dimly lit, and despite the critical nature of the situation, she was enveloped by an overwhelming sense of peace and tranquility. In this altered state of consciousness, she experienced a profound realization: everything was fine, and everyone would eventually understand. Remarkably, she felt no fear whatsoever during this experience. On the contrary, she described it as wonderful, emphasizing the stark contrast between the physical crisis and her emotional state. The next thing she remembered was regaining consciousness as she was being wheeled down the hallway to her hospital room. Initially, she felt extremely confused and persistently asked the doctors and nurses to explain what had transpired, believing they held all the answers to her extraordinary experience. Over time, she began to process and make sense of the event independently. It wasn't until later reflection that she recognized her experience as an NDE. The woman, who identified herself as female, dated this event to March 1995. When asked about the content of her experience, she described it as mixed, indicating a complex array of sensations and emotions. The NDE included an out-of-body experience, during which she felt separated from her physical form. She noted that her level of consciousness and alertness during the experience was initially somewhat muffled, but quickly became extraordinarily clear. Regarding her perception of time during the NDE, she reported that everything seemed to be happening simultaneously, or that time had stopped or lost all meaning. Her auditory experience was altered, with initial muffled sounds of people talking in the room, followed by complete silence. While she was uncertain about passing through a tunnel, she mentioned a possible dark tunnel extending upward from where she had fallen off the table. Although she did not encounter any deceased or living beings during her NDE, nor did she see an unearthly light, she described entering a realm that felt distinctly mystical or unearthly. The dominant emotion throughout the experience was extreme peacefulness. This profound sense of peace led her to a powerful realization: death was not something to be feared. She felt compelled to share this message with others, to alleviate their fears about dying. Prior to her NDE, the woman identified her religion as Liberal Presbyterian, which remained unchanged after the experience. However, she noted a significant shift in her beliefs and values. The experience reinforced her conviction that death is neither scary nor horrible, but rather peaceful and wonderful. She expressed a sense of gratitude towards whatever force or entity had allowed her to glimpse this perspective. In the aftermath of her NDE, she found it challenging to articulate her experience fully in words. She attempted to draw what had happened to provide others with a better understanding, but found that even visual representations fell short of conveying the full depth of her experience. While uncertain, she mentioned the possibility of developing some psychic or non-ordinary abilities following the NDE, such as foreseeing certain events, though she tended to attribute these to coincidence. The most significant aspects of her experience were the initial confusion upon awakening and not knowing what had happened, contrasted with the profound realization that death is not simply an end, but a transition to something beyond. When sharing her experience with others, she found that people were invariably curious and wanted to know more, though she often felt unable to provide satisfactory answers to their questions. In conclusion, this woman's NDE during heart surgery profoundly impacted her perspective on life and death. The experience left her with a deep sense of peace and a mission to share her insights about the nature of dying, potentially offering comfort to those who fear death.
If you enjoyed this video or you're interested in the topics we cover on this channel, I'd be really grateful if you could subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Share the video with someone you think might appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Preface: near-death experiences, NDEs, can be profound, life-changing events. Remember, NDEs are subjective experiences, not proof of an afterlife or a guide for living. Channel purpose: this channel shares NDE stories and information, providing a platform for open discussion without promoting specific beliefs. Disclaimer: this content doesn't replace professional medical or psychological advice. If struggling with mental health issues, seek professional help immediately. If you've had an NDE and need support, consult a therapist experienced with NDEs. We don't promote suicide or self-harm. If considering suicide, contact a prevention lifeline immediately. Suicide prevention resources: National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Crisis text line, text HOME to 741741. Conclusion: we hope you find this channel informative. For questions, please contact us. Remember, suicide prevention is crucial. If you're struggling, seek help. You're not alone.